Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
RoadToRuta.com. It is Friday, the 20th. We got, 6 total days left of COMEX trading before the delivery month hits. So the last day of trading is next Friday, the 27th or so of July. And I think it'll be a big month. There's only 160 million ounces of silver in the registered category. That could change, obviously. And I expect over 80 million. Over 80 million would be great. I mean, it'd be the third delivery month in a row we have at or over 80 million ounces of silver leaving the markets, leaving the criminal exchange called the COMEX, where they rig the price of silver every day, every trade. How do you win this game? You take physical silver. This is the only way to win this game, by the way. Yes, they can click a mouse and put the price of silver minus $40. And just like they can do with any other traded entity on the planet, Apple Computer can be put at minus $40 with a click of a mouse. That's how insane our current exchanges are, the criminality within the banks, the rehypothecation of shares. By the way, if you're in the stock market, you don't own what they tell you you own. I guarantee you that you don't have your stock certificate because they don't even give those out anymore. Maybe a couple people do. But the reality is it's held by the DTCC, who holds it in the name of Seed and Company. Basically, they stole all your wealth, and the only way you can get it back is to have something as the old system dies. So my two recommendations are precious metals and cryptos. But when you're looking at precious metals, there's probably 10 times as much gold out there as they say there is, and there's probably 10 times less silver than they say there is. So yes, obviously silver is the call. And if you look at, all you got to do is look at the gold silver ratio. I highly recommend don't even look at price. If you're a silver stacker, if you're a silver owner with physical silver in your own possession, that's the only really safe place you could be with the silver investment. I do think we'll have massive nationalization. It's not guaranteed, although the Road to Ruta documents say, yeah, we're not going to be trading with Canada and Japan when this shit falls apart. So what does that mean? Yeah, why would sorry, not Canada and Japan, Canada and Mexico. Why would Mexico, who's year after year provided a third of all the silver to the world, basically a government that literally gives away its future, and present wealth. I mean, Mexico should be one of the richest countries on the planet because of what they have in the ground. But they got shanghaied by the banksters long ago, and now they have corrupt government. If, or should I say when the price of silver goes over $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 an ounce, you will have a reverse migration of all the Mexicans that came into the U.S. You'll have Mexico wanting to pull up that wall and wanting to pay for the wall, just like Trump said. That is the most efficient, most humane way of getting rid of the problem of illegal immigration. It's ripping our country apart. You got your left and your right and your center, and you got your great immigrants, who undocumented immigrants. There are just millions and millions of great people who just don't have the piece of paper because they came over years and years ago because it was allowed. Biden opened the gate for everybody. And most 99%, I would say, are great people. The reality of whether or not they would stay in the United States of America, where many of them don't even speak the language, when the economic prospects back home are so enticing with $2,000-$3,000 silver. I mean, you'll have the richest cities and counties and provinces in Mexico in the world, all because of their massive silver deposits in the ground. So Trump and the Trump people, let's get smart about this. Stop pissing off everybody and forcefully getting people out of the country. Let the price of silver go up. They will flood out of the country. I mean, you can't stop them. The Trump's wall will be Mexico's wall. That Mexico won't want all the U.S. people who are going to be running over there too. I mean, you see people running towards gold and silver all the time. People don't remember exactly how to mine it, but there's TV shows showing you how to mine gold and silver. So I think it'll be a reverse immigration problem rather than an immigration problem for the United States. But that solves the problem, Trump. Come on, get off your ass. This is not rocket science. Elon, go tell him. I know you're watching, Elon. Elon, I gave a talk about AI the other day. He's such a smart dude. How the left turned around Elon Musk into a villain is it's telling of just how convincible or moldable the left and the right are. Both sides are easy to mold if you got the right narrative and you control the media. So Elon's on his way back in the minds and hearts of a lot of people now. Thank God. I mean, it was so ridiculous. He went out and found 14 computers that print unlimited money, unlimited, trillions upon trillions of dollars. And you're not happy about that, Democrats? Come on, get your head out of your ass. This is just shocking behavior. Get a mind of your own and use it. Anyway, yeah. Let's see here. Things to know about right now. Again, we have the end of the June contract coming up on Friday, the beginning of the July contract. The first delivery notification, I think, will be on Friday. And then the first delivery to take place on July 1st, which is the Monday. What would I say to it? Who knows? We are currently well above the moving averages. So physical demand for silver, when it hits the moving averages, just explodes. I think if they do this again, they will lose. They, meaning the criminals who are trying to rig the market, or who are bleeding physical silver, they'll probably lose another 100 million ounces or 200 million ounces, depending on how long they go below the 100 and 200-day moving averages. And right now it's at $32 and $33. 33 is the 100-day, 32 is the 100, right around there. The actual number, if you want to get official. The 100-day moving average is 33.0058. The 200-day moving average is 31.9611, 32 and 33. And then when it goes below there, you literally have it. You can start your ticking time watch about when it's going to pop back up. So my video yesterday was all about, you got literally, you know exactly how much your downside is if you can hold it for 6 months or so. Your downside is $32. Your upside is unlimited, not limited by anything. Silver has never traded above $50 an ounce. It did briefly, 49 something, back in 1980, and it did again in 2011 with the J.P. Morgan rig. So you had the Hunt Brothers rig. It wasn't a rig. The Hunt Brothers just said, "Oh my God, the U.S. is printing money like it's going out of style. We're gonna be first. We're gonna help save America by taking out the banking cabal." And they went and bought silver, which you don't do if you're a multi-billionaire. So they took them down. In 2011, it was J.P. Morgan that did it. And we documented that. And then, 5-6 years later, they get busted for it. So yeah, crazy days, my friends, crazy days. So yeah, you have a silver investment with a floor of 32 and a unlimited upside. I think that's a pretty good bet. And an absolutely runaway demand for silver used in the industrial side. The official numbers are 80%. 80% of all silver mined goes into industrial and gets consumed in industrial. But the unofficial number is well over 100%. And I've shown that just from the installations of solar panels around the world. It continues to march forward. We will use this year probably 400 to 450 million ounces. But the guys like the Silver Institute like to tell you, no, I don't know what you're talking about, Bix. I don't know what you're talking about. Silver consumption's only going up 1.5%, 1% a year, even though the solar installations using more silver is going up, in the last 2 years, it's gone up 36%. So someone is lying, and we all know who it is. The Silver Institute and Metals Focus are lying. How do we know they're lying? Because they showed us they're lying. They look at every red box is a historical number changed. They changed everything, so it doesn't look so bad. And it's embarrassing, and it's sad that the financial media, who is starting to talk about silver in Wall Street Journal, surging silver price prompt Americans to empty jewelry boxes and coin jars. That is bullshit. Total bullshit. I don't know anybody who's turning in their silver for melt. And coin jars, silvers have gone from coins, have been gone for coins for a hell of a long time. So this is what we want to see. We want to see the mainstream media introducing silver because they know it's going to be on people's minds, but they want to, tamp down the excitement. If it was the other way, it said, "Oh my God, buy silver," like they did in 2011 when J.P. Morgan was running the show. You saw it all over the news. Oh my God, they even would talk about the silver price on CNBC. That's the time you got to go, okay, what's the plan? And the plan was to drive silver in 2011 from, this was when Jamie Dimon put Bill Daley as Barack Obama's chief of staff, 100% to rig the silver price. They brought it up from $25 up to $50. And then when Bill Daley left a year later, it literally was back at $25. And all over the media during that time was, oh, it's a great investment. Then all of a sudden it stopped. So we are not at a point where the media is backing up, oh, it's a silver boom. They don't want you to buy silver. They want you to think silver is nothing. Surging silver price prompt Americans to empty jewelry boxes. When was the last time you took your jewelry, which is probably, 100 times the actual jewelry for silver is about 100 times the value of the metal underneath it. There's nobody's going into their jewelry shop and cashing in silver jewelry unless they got it in interesting ways that they wouldn't stole it. And then I got to melt it down, but I don't know how to do it. The jewelry shops know how to do it. They do take gold mainly, but silver, not even anything. I haven't even heard of anybody doing that other than, estate sales and stuff like that, where they're like, I can't do it. I don't know what it's worth. And the insanity of, and coin jars. Who? Raise one hand if you've emptied your coin jar to try to find a silver quarter or a $50 to sell during this time that the price went up to $37. I don't know if anybody has done it. This is the dumbest title unless you're trying to divert attention. But it does say strong industrial demand brings the precious metals highest prices levels in more than a decade. That's just how sad and suppressed the price has been. Gold gets all the glory, but silver prices have surged nearly as much as this year, up 27% to the highest levels in more than a decade. 27%. Gold is what? 400% more. Not 400 times, 4 times, 400% higher than the 1980 high, and silver is still well below the 1980 high. As with gold, jittery investors are scooping up the precious metal, but silver prices are getting an extra jolt from industrial demand, especially in solar panel makers. Listen to this. So they're saying, oh, jittery investors are scooping up metal. I wouldn't say that. Insiders who know what's going on. Unlike gold, which is used mostly as a store of wealth and in jewelry, the bulk of silver demand, about 80%, comes from manufacturers. Now, those two sentences completely clash. Jittery investors are scooping up the precious metal, but silver prices get an extra jolt from industrial. What? It's 80% coming from industrial. That's where it's not an extra jolt. It is the number one jolt. Industrial silver. And it's not 80%. It's 120%, 130%. It's crazy. But they do talk about, right here, that was supposed to be a problem for silver prices this year. Jeffrey Christian expected silver demand to be hurt by President Trump's trade war and his unwinding of renewable energy incentives. That forecast looked prescient in April when Trump launched his tariff barrage. Silver prices tumbled alongside stocks. The prices moved for one reason, a click of a mouse. Vinny Viola at Virtu Financial runs most of the book for the silver riggers. That would be J.P. Morgan, Bank of America. Now, Bank of America is coming out positive on silver. Wells Fargo is coming out negative on silver. And Trump and J.P. Morgan is coming out positive on silver. They project exactly where their book is. Wells Fargo's got a deep problem. They played that leasing game, the sublease game, with J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, who subleased it mainly to banks like Wells Fargo because they're too big to fail. So you got a counterparty that can't fail, right? Supposedly. It makes the risk zero, basically. If they don't come up with it, They're going to figure the Fed and the Federal Reserve the Federal Reserve and the Treasury will figure out a way to lie, cheat, and steal. But they do talk about solar down here. Demand from industrial buyers has yet to slow. Silver consumption for cutlery and electronics has remained steady, while demand for solar manufacturers has kept growing, said Michael Widmer, head of metals research at Bank of America. You can always tell their book. Good old Mike's running the book for the B of A traders. I mean, I'm telling you right now, from this statement, from this analysis from Bank of America, what does it mean? It means B of A's somehow long silver. Could it be physical? I don't think so. Could it be on the derivative side? Yes, but that is 100% contingent upon the partners on the derivative side staying in business. It's third-party risk. That's the problem. So Wells Fargo goes down, Bank of America goes down, Bank of America goes down, JP Morgan goes down. Here's JP Morgan. There's a risk that demand from the solar sector, especially in China, was pulled forward ahead of trade restrictions and changes to energy policy. And there could be a hangover in the second half of the year, said Greg Shearer, JP Morgan, head of metals research. What does that tell you? JP Morgan's still trying to pick up silver. Next year's going to have problems. Don't get into silver. That means JP Morgan doesn't want the price to go up. Talked about the Hunt brothers. Anyway, this is the first time I've seen silver so prominently talked about on the Wall Street Journal in a very long time, probably since 2011. You might have. You can go check. But yeah, interesting times. And then it talks about in the U.S. How there's a switch from solar to natural gas to oil drilling and all that. I think we're going to need all of the above. But the reality of putting precious metal, silver, into solar panels is the definition of insanity. Because the price has been price suppressed for so long, that's why we have 80% officially going into manufacturing. The price is too low, massively too low. At $5,000 silver, you're not going to put it into solar panels. As a matter of fact, all these solar panels you see right here will probably be torn down and recycled to get the silver out. People do that. I mean, they're fine paying a higher gas bill if they get, tens of millions of dollars for tearing down solar panels that they put in just months prior. People are motivated by money, my friends. It's going to get really crazy really fast. So we might even see throughout the world legal like laws specifically saying that you can't tear down your solar panels for 20 years type of thing. It's illegal. Everybody will do it anyway. And imagine how many solar panels are going to be stolen when the price of silver goes to $1,000, $2,000 an ounce. Everybody's going to run over. You got solar panel on your house. Oh my God, there's $5,000 sitting on top of the house. Let's go steal it. It's crazy, but that's what you get when you rig markets, Mr. Trump, Mr. Biden, Mr. Obama, Mr. Bush. You can just go back. Our markets have been rigged. Silver's been rigged since the 1850s. That's what I'm really excited about. So we are going to see a moonshot in silver. It's just whether or not we'll see it on the exchanges or just it becomes unobtainium, as Cliff calls it. Anyway, big problem for the COMEX right now is there's about 400 million ounces, close to 80 million contracts still open for the July. Now, they usually roll it over in the last week or so. So next week, we should see this roll over and get down to about, I don't know, if we do 100 million ounces would be, that'd be 20,000 contracts. That'd be cool. I mean, anything over 82, I think, is the new record for amount of silver delivered in a month. So keep an eye out for that. Really interesting. If you look at the silver futures for this non-delivery month, which is big, it's one of the biggest months for a non-delivery month. You see little spurts of huge jumps. Like on June 6th, you got 462 contracts. Just the day of, they went in, bought silver, and stood for delivery. So we're going to see a lot more of that. We're coming by next week. I think keep an eye on Wells Fargo. I think they're going to have big delivery mandated for them in July. I think it's part of that structured deal. We're going to keep an eye on that. Nobody talks about Wells Fargo because it's not in the data. Nobody talks about Wells Fargo until now because they got snookered into a leasing deal, sublease deal with Bank of America and JP Morgan, where they thought, this is a no-brainer. We're going to get cheap money and we're going to have to pay back. We'll just buy a futures contract and sell one and keep an even book. And they're going to find out when third parties fail, so does their bank. So keep an eye on that. All right. So we have right here total deliveries this month, 16 million ounces. That used to be a delivery month. This is not a delivery month for COMEX Silver. Next month is a delivery month, and I think it's going to be over 80. You'd see me happy as a clam over 90 or over 100 even, and it is more than possible. It is ramping up. We are going to see 100 million ounces delivered at some point. The next delivery month would be September, and then we do it again in December. That's the problem with exchanges, JP Morgan and Bank of America and Wells Fargo. The problem with the exchange, like the COMEX, is that there's a delivery option. And the COMEX is going to go out of business. So they're going to change the rules at some point. That's what they did to the Hunt brothers. They didn't do it to Warren Buffett back in around 2000. They caught him and they said, don't add any more. He had bought 130 million ounces, physical ounces, because of his desire to destroy the banks. And I think he's behind the scenes now doing it, but he's not letting anybody know. Where does his desire to destroy the banks come from? It comes from his father, Howard Buffett. Go read Howard Buffett's speech on the floor of the House of Representatives back in the 1940s. You'll be shocked because Buffett runs around saying, "Oh no, it's a gold is nothing. It's a ridiculous asset. Blah 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 blah." He knows exactly what gold is, and he even knows better what silver is. And he had his whole reasoning for buying silver back in 1999, 2000. All those reasons are true today, and he's got massive amounts of cash. So I think at the end of the day, all these silver leases that were done through JP Morgan and Bank of America, I think they're ending up in the hands of Buffett and Elon. Elon's not a dummy. He knows exactly that if the silver price goes to, say, $1,000, $2,000, his Tesla Tiles company will be gone. His cars will go up significantly. It's probably, nobody really knows how much is in an electric car. My guess, the official number is somewhere around 2 ounces. My guess is like 10 to 20 ounces. And when you got millions of electric cars, turns out to be a lot of money. So keep an eye on that too. All right, that's what I got for you. Don't forget, I did a interview with Sean at SGT Report the other day. He hasn't posted it yet, but it should be posted today. And I will be putting that interview right at the top of the Road to Ruta website. Go to roadtoruta.com. Make sure you sign up for free updates on the left side, your name and email address. So I'll put that interview right here at the top from Sean at SGT Report. We talk mainly about silver, and we have a great discussion. Go check that out. This is Bix Weir. Oh, if you want to subscribe to the Road to Ruta before the massive moves in Theta fuel, especially, we're currently giving away 500 Theta fuel loaded on a paper wallet and mailed to your front door. This is great for people who don't know how to deal with cryptos. Go check it out. We do have a page on the private road on how to buy, store, and stake Theta and T-Fuel. Actually, we haven't updated it. We need to update it for the new Crypto.com ability to buy Theta and T-Fuel. Go to Crypto.com, open up an account there, and you can buy T-Fuel and Theta, and then pull them off that exchange and get them into your own possession. Very few people are doing that. It's only like 1% right now. Yeah, it's interesting time. What's going to happen? So I don't think the crypto people have the money to get into Theta. I think the tech people do. The tech people who are investing in AI, investing in tech stocks. That's what Theta is. It's really a protocol for running the software of sharing broadband, sharing your hard drive for a decentralized cloud. It's huge. It's going to be the biggest out of any of the tech companies. Theta is going to be bigger because it's so important and so necessary and so smart. I mean, imagine sharing all the excess capacity of all the broadband on the planet, all the excess capacity of your hard drive and your processing power, sharing all that, a sharing world, instead of creating, hoping that Taiwan stays out of a war. Anyway, go check it out, roadtorear.com. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.